A major breakthrough is rippling through the medical community at this very moment. I urge every coffee lover, particularly older adults, to pay close attention. For decades, physicians treated your morning coffee as nothing more than a harmless pick-me-up. Yet fresh studies from leading universities have uncovered something remarkable. That daily cup can either support your health or slowly harm it, all hinging on one simple factor: what you add to it. I've spent many years researching cardiovascular, metabolic, and brain health in seniors, and I can say with confidence that the right powders in your coffee can transform energy, memory, and even disease risk. Research from Kyoto University and Harvard followed adults over 60 who made a single tweak to their morning ritual. The findings: a 43% jump in alertness, a 28% reduction in inflammation, and a 19% decrease in heart disease risk within 8 weeks. That isn't a pharmaceutical supplement. It's a teaspoon of natural powder stirred into your mug. Each one is supported by credible science rather than online hype. Japanese clinical trials report increases in cardiac energy output of more than 99% and reversals of early inflammatory markers within a month. All of this is documented in peer-reviewed nutrition and cardiovascular journals. Now, without delay, the countdown begins with number 5. It's likely already in your pantry, ready to reshape your mornings. Number 5. Cinnamon powder. Ceylon cinnamon isn't merely a flavor boost, though it can make your cup taste like a gourmet cafe drink. The real impact occurs at the molecular level when cinnamon's active compound, cinnamaldehyde, interacts with insulin receptors. An intriguing diabetes care study tracked 60 people with type 2 diabetes who stirred only half a teaspoon of cinnamon into their morning coffee daily. After 40 days, their average fasting glucose fell by 29%. That's striking, considering some diabetes drugs don't reach numbers like that. But here's what truly captured researchers' attention. The same trials showed a 27% drop in LDL, the artery clogging fraction, among those using cinnamon. By contrast, the control group drinking plain coffee showed virtually no change in either measure. Cinnamon's mode of action is surprisingly fascinating when you break it down. Its polyphenols act like keys, helping unlock cell membranes so glucose enters more efficiently. That leaves less sugar circulating to damage vessels and organs. Another paper in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition found that putting cinnamon into coffee, rather than taking it separately, boosted bioavailability by 40%. Coffee's heat draws out more of cinnamon's beneficial oils, and its natural acids enhance absorption. Here's the preparation mistake most people make with cinnamon coffee. Don't dump a spoonful of ground cinnamon straight into the cup and stir. That's a fast track to a gritty, sand-like texture. The trick is to mix cinnamon with the grounds before brewing. For a French press, drip machine, or pour-over, use about 1/4 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon per cup. If you're using instant or adding it post-brew, first blend the cinnamon with a little honey or maple syrup to form a paste. Then slowly pour in the hot coffee while stirring continuously. That prevents clumps and disperses the spice evenly. The variety of cinnamon you choose matters a great deal. Most supermarket cinnamon is actually cassia, which contains higher levels of coumarin, a compound that can stress the liver in large amounts. Ceylon, often called true cinnamon, has roughly 250-fold less coumarin and higher concentrations of helpful compounds. You can pick up Ceylon cinnamon at health food shops or online, and though it's slightly pricier, it's maybe an extra $3 a month for something that could meaningfully shift metabolic health. Speaking of change, the next powder does remarkable things for gut health. Number 4. Collagen powder. Collagen in coffee may sound like a passing trend, but the underlying science is compelling for anyone past 25. Starting in your mid-20s, your body's collagen output falls by about 1% per year. By around 50, you've shed close to 30% of total collagen, explaining creaky joints, looser skin, and slower workout recovery. Here's where it gets interesting. A landmark Penn State study showed athletes who added 10 grams of collagen to morning coffee for 24 weeks had a 43% drop in activity-related joint pain. The control group with plain coffee saw only a 7% improvement, which researchers attributed to placebo. Collagen pairs well with coffee because of vitamin C and heat-assisted activation. Coffee naturally carries a bit of vitamin C, a key cofactor for collagen synthesis. The beverage's heat gently denatures the protein, making it easier for your gut to break down and absorb. A Japanese study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry reported that collagen peptides in hot drinks were absorbed 40% more efficiently than in cold liquids or capsules. Tracking hydroxyproline, they saw peak levels about 60 minutes after collagen coffee versus 90 to 120 minutes with other methods. Getting collagen into coffee without clumps takes a little technique. First, choose hydrolyzed collagen peptides, not regular collagen, since peptides dissolve far better. Begin with coffee around 140, 160 degrees, not boiling. Add 1 to 2 scoops, typically 10 to 20 grams, to the cup first. Pour in a little coffee to just cover the powder, then use a small whisk or frother to form a paste. Once smooth, top up with the remaining coffee while stirring or frothing. This approach keeps those unappetizing protein clumps, think cottage cheese flecks, out of your cup. Quality varies enormously between collagen powders. Seek brands with third-party testing for heavy metals and contaminants, especially for marine collagen, given ocean pollution concerns. In the cup, it should dissolve clear, leaving no film or residue. A strange foam or oily sheen after adding collagen often signals poor processing. A quality collagen runs about 50 cents to $1 per serving, modest compared with a cortisone shot that costs hundreds and fades in months. If collagen impressed you, the next powder helps your body burn fat even while you sit at your desk. Number 3, MCT oil powder. MCT powder is where coffee upgrades veer into serious biohacking. MCT means medium-chain triglycerides, fats your body handles quite differently from typical fats. Whereas ordinary fats digest slowly and can leave you sluggish, MCTs head straight to the liver and are rapidly turned into ketones, rocket fuel for the brain. In neurobiology of aging, a study assigned people with mild cognitive impairment to regular coffee or coffee plus MCT powder each morning for 6 months. The MCT group improved memory recall by 33% and processing speed by 28%. Brain scans even showed heightened activity in regions tied to memory and learning. The weight loss effects of MCT coffee can be even more striking. Work from Columbia University and the New York Obesity Research Center tracked 31 overweight adults who swapped regular morning coffee for MCT coffee without altering diet or exercise. After 16 weeks, the MCT group lost an average of 4.7 pounds more than the control group on plain coffee. But here's the especially interesting piece. They shed mainly abdominal fat, with waistlines shrinking by about 1.2 inches more than controls. Researchers noted a 50% boost in diet-induced thermogenesis with MCTs. In other words, your body burns more calories simply digesting and processing them. Adding MCT powder takes care to avoid what biohackers jokingly call disaster pants, and the name says it all. If you're new to MCTs, begin with just 1 teaspoon, around 5 grams, for the first week. Your gut needs time to adapt to these unusual fats. Stir the powder into the coffee while it's hot, since it dissolves far better in heat. If adding cream or sweetener, introduce the MCT first, then the other ingredients. That order keeps it from clumping with proteins or sugars. Whip with a milk frother or blender for 20-30 seconds to achieve a creamy, latte-like texture. MCTs act as emulsifiers, yielding a smoother mouthfeel than standard coffee. Quality matters a great deal with MCT powders. Some brands add maltodextrin or fillers that spike blood sugar, undermining the goal. Choose products using acacia fiber or no filler whatsoever. The powder ought to be pure white or slightly off-white. Yellowing or beige hints at oxidation or poor processing. A good MCT powder runs about 75 cents per serving and can stand in for breakfast or a pre-workout while enhancing cognition, making it economical. Ready for a powder that makes MCT look almost basic. The next one is often dubbed the most potent antioxidant on the planet. Number 2, cacao powder. Adding raw cacao to coffee may sound like a simple mocha, but the benefits go far beyond taste, and it's surprising more people don't know it. Raw cacao boasts over 40 times the antioxidant content of blueberries and holds the highest magnesium concentration of any food. In the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, a 15-year study of 470 older men found daily cacao intake linked to a 50% lower risk of cardiovascular death compared with non-consumers. But here's the truly striking part. Among those who added cacao to coffee specifically, the protective effect rose to 63%. Coffee and cacao together appear to create a synergy researchers are only beginning to map. Coffee supplies chlorogenic acids, while cacao contributes flavanols, forming what scientists describe as a complementary antioxidant network. A study from Italy's University of L'Aquila assessed cognition in 90 older adults with mild cognitive impairment. One group consumed regular coffee. Another had coffee blended with 2 tablespoons of raw cacao powder. After 8 weeks, the cacao coffee group improved verbal fluency by 38%, processing speed by 27%, and executive function by 41%. Imaging showed increased blood flow to the dentate gyrus of the hippocampus, the region where new neurons arise even in adults. Preparation determines how much benefit you extract from cacao coffee. First, use raw cacao, not Dutch processed cocoa, which is alkalized and can lose up to 90% of its antioxidants. Add 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw cacao to the grounds before brewing. For a French press or drip setup, aim for 175 to 185 degree BAF to extract cacao's compounds, slightly below coffee's ideal. If adding after brewing, make a slurry by mixing the powder with a tablespoon of hot water to form a paste. Then slowly whisk in the coffee. That keeps hydrophobic cacao particles from floating on top like a dusty film. Cacao quality varies widely by processing and origin. Ceremonial-grade cacao from Peru or Ecuador can contain up to 3 times the beneficial compounds of commercial powders. It should smell rich and earthy, not sour or musty, and appear deep brown rather than black or grayish. Mixed with hot water, it should leave a faint oily sheen, signaling cacao butter and its beneficial fats. Quality raw cacao typically costs about 50 to 75 cents per serving. Given that it can stand in for mood boosters, pre-workouts, and pricey antioxidant pills, it's tremendous value. All right, this is the moment. The top pick is up next, and it's genuinely eye-opening. Number 1, Lion's Mane Mushroom Powder. This is the powder that upended assumptions about brain health and coffee enhancement. Lion's mane doesn't merely deliver a fleeting lift like caffeine. It helps the brain grow new neurons and repair damaged ones. A groundbreaking report in the International Journal of Medicinal Mushrooms tracked 30 adults with mild cognitive impairment who added 1 teaspoon of lion's mane to morning coffee. After 16 weeks, cognitive scores improved by 38.5%. But here's the surprising part. 4 weeks after stopping, follow-up tests still showed gains, suggesting lion's mane induced lasting physical changes in the brain. The mechanism behind lion's mane is striking once you understand it. It contains compounds called hericenones and erinacines that can cross the blood-brain barrier, something most supplements can't manage. Once there, they stimulate production of nerve growth factor, NGF, a protein essential for neuron growth, maintenance, and survival. A Japanese imaging study found daily lion's mane coffee over 3 months was linked to a 23% increase in cerebral cortex thickness, key for higher-level thinking, and a 19% boost in neural connection speed. Preparing lion's mane coffee correctly is crucial for full benefits. The powder ought to be light tan or beige, not brown or gray, which suggests oxidation. Begin with half a teaspoon, about 1.5 g, for the first week. Then move to a full teaspoon, around 3 g, which most studies use. Stir the powder directly into hot coffee, whisking briskly for at least 30 seconds. Lion's mane contains beta-glucans that need heat to dissolve fully and become bioavailable. Aim for a temperature between 170 and 190 degrees. Many use a milk frother or brief blend, about 20 seconds, to ensure dissolution and a creamy texture. Timing and consistency matter with lion's mane more than with any other powder here. A study from a Chinese university reported that lion's mane's cognitive benefits compound over time, with the biggest gains between weeks 8 and 12 of daily use. Those who drank lion's mane coffee every morning showed outcomes 85% better than people who used it only on weekdays. Researchers concluded NGF production follows a cumulative pattern, with each dose layering on the prior day's effects. Skipping even 2 or 3 days can markedly blunt its effectiveness. Quality differences in lion's mane are stark and directly affect results. Choose powder from the fruiting body, not mycelium grown on grain, the base for many cheaper products. Fruiting body extracts contain about 30 times more hericenones and erinacines than mycelium-based products. Seek dual-extracted powders that use both water and alcohol to capture the full spectrum of compounds. A simple test is to stir a teaspoon into hot water. It should nearly dissolve, leaving only a faint, earthy residue. If it stays gritty or won't dissolve, it's likely mycelium on grain, essentially costly filler. The neuroprotective effects reach beyond cognition alone. South Korean research found lion's mane coffee drinkers had a 44% lower risk of diabetic peripheral neuropathy. Those already affected reported a 58% drop in pain and numbness after 3 months. Researchers observed lion's mane aiding regeneration of the myelin sheath that insulates nerves, effectively reversing damage once thought permanent. Participants even described sensation returning to hands and feet that had been numb for years. Combining all five creates what some researchers call the ultimate longevity coffee. When cinnamon's glucose control, collagen's tissue support, MCT's metabolic lift, cacao's antioxidant shield, and lion's mane's neural renewal come together, it's no longer just coffee. You're effectively taking a pharmaceutical-grade health intervention for under $5 a day. Research on using all five together is only beginning, yet early data show biomarker improvements that prescriptions struggle to match. Your morning coffee may genuinely be the most consequential health choice you make each day. And now you know how to turn it from a simple caffeine fix into a potent tool for optimizing body and brain at the cellular level.